Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 79 of the Toonami Escape podcast. New home, same podcast. Don't expect any improvements.
No, because we're lazy bastards.
It's still us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Greg Zeno, your host. Tonight we have B-Dubs.
Hello.
And C-Kohler.
Hey, guys.
And moving immediately into news before we go on to the block, there's one small note, but Funimation is dubbing Space Battleship Yamato 2199, also known as Blazers 2099.
Which we are going to get.
I mean, my only question is, do they have the TV rights? Because that might be weird.
I don't think it's going to be that weird. I mean, I feel like we have to get it. You know, I think this is one of those things DeMarco would definitely be into, and he'd definitely want to get if at all possible.
DeMarco already tried to get it for like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean that
so
too.
If you can get it now, this screams Lupin replacement.
Yeah, the timing matches up, but everything would be perfect if he could get this. I'm actually really hoping he gets it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about this.
NeoGAF's Anime of the Year 2013.
Yeah, I mean, and also it looks really good. Like the production values look really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if we would get a westernized version of the OP or the actual OP.
I hope we could get the OP.
Because that OP is like updated 70s anime goodness.
Yeah.
That's the main reason, though, is that like this is so like a fit for Toonami in DeMarco's eyes, because he wants to celebrate the kind of classic anime that he loves.
Yeah.
And this is like a cool way to do it, because this is a redo of a classic series
that he loves.
It's good.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope they would get it too, because I want to see it. I've never wanted to see it enough to go and seek it out, but if it's on Toonami, I'd be really excied.
I mean, it hasn't been legally available for streaming at all in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've seen one or two episodes through, like the usual methods, but it's just one of those things where it's,
So it's not really on Crunchyroll or Funimation?
No, no one has it.
Hasn't been, but I believe somebody put out a disc version, right? And that didn't actually go anywhere.
Well, I mean, regardless, the point is that this would be a broadcast premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, if Funimation's dubbing it, they have to at least have the streaming rights.
Oh, I would think so. It's probably at least going to get streamed.
Yeah.
I mean, getting it to replace Lupin would probably be like the best top tier replacement they could get.
Yeah. Not only that, they fit so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Space Battleship Yamato is probably also not very expensive, being older and such.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be all that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely checks all the boxes for a likely Toonami show.
Yeah.
It's also not, so new and big important that they have to change the block. They could just switch it in. They could just slot it in after Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that it would be really cool to have. They don't have to build anything around it.
So, fingers crossed. I don't know if we may not be able to get in January because it may be coming too late. They may have already lined up the replacement.
I don't know. It depends on when DeMarco found out Funimation was getting it.
That's right.
He may have known in advance.
Yeah, I mean, if he knew far enough in advance, like if they knew that he wanted it, they may well have reached out and said, "Hey, we just picked this up. You want to put it on?"
And he'd be like, "Yes, please. I already called you 5 days about this."
Yeah, like I'm sitting in your hallway right now, just waiting to beg you for this show. Please give it to me.
Like, they call him and he's just right there in the doorway. And they're like, "Huh."
How did you get here? I already knew.
Anyway, so let's move on to the block. And
wait. Before you do, though, did you want to talk about Countdown?
I was about to talk about Countdown.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That counts as the block.
Do that. Oh, okay.
Anyway, Countdown happened, which kind of snuck up on me.
I don't think anyone expected it. I mean, we expected it, but you know what I mean.
Nobody kind of was thinking like it's not like The Intruder 2 where it's like, oh my god, a new intruder, or The Intruder 3 where it's like, wow, really, a new intruder? Now it's just like Countdown, and it's like, oh yeah, Countdown, I guess.
They got to refresh the block for next year or so. You know, we're doing one.
Yep. Well, I mean, it was only announced recently. That's the reason.
I mean, that too. I mean, there wasn't a whole huge hype train leading up to it this time.
Yeah. I want to say right out of the bat that this looks a lot better than Intruder 3 and the stuff
definitely.
Before. I mean, like animation-wise, they put a lot more effort into this.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I maybe they saw a bump in the ratings last time when they did it. I mean, we probably have to look that up, but you know, maybe they decided, yeah, it's worth, you know, spending more money on this.
I'm fairly sure that at least The Intruder 2 saw a bump in ratings.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that.
Or it could just be like they got a different person working on it, or the person who worked on it is gotten better. Whatever the case, the animation was much more like higher quality than the stuff that was in Intruder 3.
Yeah.
So plot-wise, I kind of don't remember much, and it's kind of confusing because it involves timey-wimey shenanigans, it looks like.
Yeah, no, Tom is in the Upside Down. That's how I'm like, he's just in the Upside Down.
So it starts off with Tom being like, I'm a burgeoning artist. And Sarah kind of low-key shits on him, and he's like, please take my art career seriously.
No.
We literally do nothing.
It's kind of hard to take it seriously when they all look like crayon drawings from like a 4-year-old.
I mean, that's the joke.
Yeah. I kind of wonder, though, I bet that stuff's like fan art that's been sent to them.
I think that
probably.
Yeah.
They had some of that fan art laying around.
That would be a pretty big troll move on their part.
Well, not so much a troll move. I mean, kind of like a sort of way of like, hey, you know, I sent that to them, and like it's your stuff showed up on TV. Isn't that cool? You know, just in the background.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we found this box from the 2005 fan art contest.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't burn this.
Nope.
And so now there's red stuff and things, and I don't know.
Yeah.
This is really it was kind of confusing.
I don't get the countdown aspect yet.
There's a countdown to failure.
Yes.
Well, right, but I mean, like, I don't know.
There's a countdown until Tom is trapped in the Upside Down forever.
Okay.
I wanted to watch it again, but I didn't.
Yeah, I feel like next time, before the next one, I feel like I'm going to have to sit down and watch this one again, get a better idea of what the hell happened.
I'm not even really sure it's time. It seems like a time kind of thing, but then, like, they haven't been on that ship for very long, so it's not like he's far back in time. And also,
maybe he went forward.
Well, maybe, but like, because then there's like he's in when a Tom arrives, or at least we saw in the preview. There's a bunch of what are the droids called?
Clydes.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of angry Clydes coming at him.
So they might be from the future, or he might just actually be in the Upside Down. You know, like maybe they just watched
he might.
Maybe they just watched Stranger Things.
Okay, we get it. You said that like 50 times.
I'm sorry.
Have you finished Stranger Things yet?
I did. It was good.
All right. Anyway, it could also be like a Star Trek mirror universe where everything's evil, you know, or something like that.
That
maybe.
Too. Yeah. I mean, that's an option.
Anyway, more on this in the following weeks. Do you think we're getting a Thanksgiving marathon? I don't think so.
I feel like we should.
I feel like they would have announced it by now. But remember, they didn't do it last year.
Well, when does Thanksgiving on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's always on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They didn't do one last year, which was bizarre.
Maybe they decided it wasn't worth it.
I kind of get the feeling that maybe their audience is more disposed at Halloween costume parties and maybe doesn't go visit their parents for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or if they do go visit, that it's not a whole like weekend affair. It's sort of like in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
their entire audience lives at home. Problem solved.
I've never really thought of the marathons that way. I always thought it was more like, aren't the marathons are more about like Well, I guess I don't know that. I don't know. I was
Marathons have
gonna
always been on like holiday weekend, like big federal
Right.
or holiday
I know
weekends
that.
because people are like out because they're like, oh, I can travel, and
I
so they're not
guess.
at home watching TV. So marathon,
Right.
but maybe Thanksgiving has been completely eaten by Christmas now.
Well, also Thanksgiving's. I mean, I don't know. Most people will be back by Friday night, or I mean Saturday
Yeah.
night. I think.
I mean, that's sort of what I'm thinking is,
Yeah.
not everybody stays for Thanksgiving like through the weekend, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really think we're having one because it's Countdown's only 4 episodes, and that would make the last episode of Countdown on the Thanksgiving marathon.
Hmm.
So
I hope not. I mean, I don't think they need to.
anyway, shall we talk about the block
Yeah.
proper?
Okay.
Dragon Ball Super Episode 39, developed time skip Counter-Strike. Here comes Goku's new move. It's the Kaioken. He finally used it.
Yep.
And before someone says, well, he couldn't use it before, I'm like, I don't
Who
care.
cares?
don't
No
care.
one cares. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, he should have used the Kaioken in Super Saiyan before.
I mean, he probably couldn't for whatever reason, but whatever. Who cares?
He never did.
I mean-
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, during filler once, but I feel like the reason they didn't is because it would have broken sort of like the power level scaling.
Oh,
Yeah, but-
really? That's a huge problem in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I know. It seriously would have been.
So yeah, I don't.
I mean, more than it already was.
I have no problem with Kaioken being supported by Super Saiyan Blue because when you're God level, like really, where else can you go but Kaioken at that point? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
well, Vegeta was salty that Goku got to go second.
It was also salty that Goku now has Kaioken again.
Yeah,
So in
I mean,
this
he's
episode,
always salty.
hits like, so you just power up, I just get better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did yell just
Okay,
to
Matt
see what it
Mercer,
felt like.
we need you to have a yelling contest with Sean Schemmel, and Matt Mercer's like, I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, he just did it like, I wanted to see what this feels like. It's not that great.
I liked that. We were talking about it in a thread too. That Super is really becoming like self-aware. Like it's like they're talking about like not everybody has to yell to power up. You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how the show is starting to like in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way sort of poke fun of itself. I think it's a good addition to the show.
Yeah.
It's basically become less abridged.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which is why they can't do Super because you can't.
I'm sure they could find a way.
No.
I mean, there's still parts of Super that just take itself way too seriously.
They could do the movies and that's it.
I don't know. I think they could get away with this arc.
There's
I mean-
always
Okay, the arc that follows this one, the next major arc, they could definitely abridge that one 100%. That one takes itself way seriously.
maybe. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
This I thought overall this episode was pretty hype. Like
No, that was cool.
it was actually exciting and not boring at all. It was actually like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and it looks pretty good too. I mean, especially compared to what we had before.
Yes.
Especially compared to what we had before. Man.
Oh man,
It's clear
That
they
stuff got-
they just penciled this episode in on the calendar and then like, okay, nobody do anything until this one. Just save all your energy. Save all your
Yeah.
forms for this.
yeah. I mean, part of it is definitely that they're having more and more time to actually work on the episodes. You know, so with every arc, there is a substantial improvement in animation and essentially writing quality. I mean, not so much writing, but definitely animation.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else from this episode?
I just want to say I still liked how salty Vegeta was. Like, that's, no matter how much he grows, that's his one, thing, is he will always be salty.
Oh, come on. He got to see my fight. That's a huge advantage. It's like,
Oh,
well,
he gets to
you wanted
use.
to... Vegeta, you wanted to go first.
Oh, he got to use Kaioken. I don't know that. That's not fair.
I could see Vegeta being salty when he wins.
Oh, he's gonna be so salty.
He's
I
gonna
should
be
have won by more.
right, exactly. He's gonna be like, I defeated Goku, but dang it, Goku still got to smile at the end. No.
Anyway, want to talk about Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapters, episode 138, Birth of a Merged Super Warrior. His name is Trunkton. I mean,
No,
Gotenks.
Wait, no, that's wait.
It's
Yes.
Gotenks, not Trunkton.
Yes, that is yes.
I like Trunkton though.
We all do.
It's such a dumb name.
It really is.
And before we get to Gotenks, first we have to get to this new Supreme Kai guy gets hit in the face by Goku and then tries to grope Videl.
Yes, he does. At least, can we at least say that Chi-Chi's probably not the worst parent that we make her out to be? Because I mean, Gohan at least recognizes that, hey, this is wrong. That's sexual harassment.
He did say that, but then he did also say this, and I quote, this is coming from Gohan, and I quote, it's still sexual harassment, but I guess we have no choice.
I mean, if your other choice is save the world,
I don't...
maybe...
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great.
Probably not.
It's
I mean,
it's
in the
not great.
impossible situation where it literally was sexual harassment versus everyone dies.
I would hope, in the very, very least, they would be like, hey, Bulma, will you please do this? And not just, like, expect her to do it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it would work.
I don't know. I mean, hasn't this been, like, a trope, though, in Dragon Ball for a while, like Bulma always doing something like this?
Yeah, she usually gets, sexually harassed in some way.
Or no, like, there's usually, like, a scene where she has to, like, flash someone to get something. Like, that's, an ongoing thing.
No, that's
she's had to do that. No, she's had to do that to Roshi a couple of times.
No. Bulma. I meant Bulma.
Yeah, Bulma. Yeah, she's had to do that to Roshi a couple of times.
Yeah. I don't think Videl should do it, and we know that she's not going to. So
no, I mean, she would probably kill Weinstein Kai if it came to that. Like, she will strangle that old man.
Oh man, just imagine if he tried that on 18.
Oh,
his head would be gone. His head would just be gone. Like, Krillin would be like, please don't murder him. Like, I can't help it.
This unfortunate aspect of his character aside, I do like this old guy because he's funny and goofy. And he had the best line in the episode when he said, "You rotten little dried up turd stain."
I mean, he's already more useful than Shin is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better at his job.
Well, that's not saying much.
No, it's not. I mean, Shin is absolutely horrible at his job.
Clearly, that entire line is terrible at their job.
Yes. I mean, clearly.
Speaking of terrible at their job, let me do this dance for 18 hours.
Yes. No, not 18 hours, 25 hours.
Ugh. It's so... I mean, like, I get that's the joke, but it's so dumb.
It really is. I mean, it's basically just a way to keep Gohan off Earth until Gotenks can have his fight.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Because, I mean, imagine if Gohan just popped up and just put Boo down, like, next episode. Like, we'd all be pissed off we never got to see Gotenks. I mean, I wouldn't be too pissed off, but,
Speaking of which...
Gotenks! After brief interludes with Trunkton and Dead Guy.
Yeah, Mr. I Need Food. It was the guy that ate too much and then the guy that didn't eat enough.
We can just all agree that fat Gotenks is just Trunkton.
I like that idea, yeah.
That does sound about right.
Oh, Trunkton, we hardly knew you.
So instead, Gotenks, who of course thinks he's hot shit, decides
he's
to
a
go
little
off.
shithead.
Yeah, decides to go off and fight. And somebody, I don't remember which character said it. They go, So twice the power, but twice the brat.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
That sort of sounds like an 18 line.
it might have been. Yeah. But yeah, he's gonna probably get his ass handed to him because kids.
Yeah, and he's not even Super Saiyan. What the hell?
Like he straight up's like, okay, I'm cool. I believe this was originally where the "Boo is nothing, I will bring him back" dead line probably comes from.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think.
Hello?
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 There was. Yeah, we
Oh,
can
there
hear
you, there you go. You cut out for a minute.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I don't think there's really anything else in this episode. Do you guys think of anything?
Um,
No.
I mean, other than Goku still not calling back to Earth and saying, "Hey, Gohan's not dead and he's actually training," there's nothing.
Well, yeah, Goku's an idiot and also like doesn't think about other people.
I mean, he took a 3-hour nap. He couldn't take like 5 seconds to
Nope.
port over to King Kai and be like, "Hey, we should probably tell my wife that her son is still alive."
See, that's all part of the Goku charm. He's just such an innocent little kid. It's kind of grating sometimes. when you're an adult and you think about like all of the ridiculous plot holes that come up in Dragon Ball Z and they're all his fault, it just starts to get
Yeah.
a little old.
It really does.
But that's his charm. He's like Luffy, where he's just like, I don't care, blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, Luffy doesn't cause 1.5 billion problems.
Excuse
I mean, he
kind of
causes
the root of a lot of
problems.
problems. Let's put it that way.
I mean, yes, but he also solves all those problems.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Luffy generally, like, at least half of his problems he causes to the villains by just walking onto the island.
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
mean,
oh,
like-
my plan was going great. Here's Luffy. Fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't cause problems for himself very often.
No, he
Well,
does.
I mean, he
often,
does, but
Often Usopp and Nami will have a brilliant way of getting out of the situation, and Luffy will just screw it up.
yeah. I mean, that's
That
also
happens
true.
a lot.
It does.
And it's always because I just want to punch somebody, that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great reaction faces in One Piece of, all right, this perfect plan is going to fruition. Luffy walks in the building. Shit.
Yeah.
They
Usually
plan for
plans
Luffy.
Luffy is in on.
And then there's the plans where they plan for him to fuck it all up, and then he does the opposite. No, I mean, I'm just like, I feel like Luffy probably wouldn't forget to call his wife and tell her that his son is still alive.
Well, Luffy would make a promise and keep it. I don't think Goku's even capable of that. He probably would forget to make a promise.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm saying is, one probably cares a little more about everybody else in the room than the other.
Luffy also understands the difference between gender.
This is true. Goku didn't understand that originally.
No, he still doesn't really quite understand it, I don't think.
I mean, I think he gets the idea at this point. I mean, it'd be weird if he didn't.
I think
It'd be
only
really
recently he had to determine Videl was a girl.
Oh, God, you're right.
He's kind of dumb that way.
Oh, my God. The guy's married and has 2 kids, and he still gets... God help us. I feel so bad for Chi-Chi now.
Anyway, shall we talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
All right.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, Episode 13, Wheel of Fortune. Sequel overdubbed that with the actual sound.
You got it.
In this episode, who should be hitchhiking on the road but that character?
Oh boy, it's
Yep.
Annie! Yay!
She's back.
She's here to be like, oh man, Jotaro's so cool. Oh, I tripped on air. Help me, I'm gonna die. No one likes me.
She
She's
really,
so handsome.
honestly, I am confounded about why she is in this because she adds nothing to the
It's
story.
very simple. The editors were like, put in the kid.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, they needed a kid.
It's like, oh, there are too many guys. We need a girl or something. I guess I don't know.
There's too many burly macho men. You need a kid.
I guess maybe comic relief in a sort of way, but yeah, it's just she really is just sort of there, and lots of
Yeah.
scenes she's just in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, in this episode, have you seen the old Steven Spielberg movie Duel? And not Christine, because Christine was a possessed car with no driver.
Yes, that is completely different. And if you haven't seen Duel, have you seen? Actually, I think the short story from Richard Matheson has the same name, but it's the same idea. Actually, it's the same story. Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, in this episode, they are attacked by a car. So there's a lot of cars.
Yes,
I was
there
really
are.
expecting the stand user to not actually be in the car, and that the arm was just going to be like a floating arm that comes out the side of the window.
That would have been fantastic.
But it turns out he actually was sitting in the car, and he just says like he's never had any. He skipped leg day his whole life.
He skipped
That was the
everything but
best.
Arm Day forever.
Yeah.
Like he's never done anything but Arm Day.
I'm kind of sad they took out the line from like the anime and the manga where he just like when he's pointing out the window after like having supposedly killed Jotaro, he's like, "Yeah, I did it. Part 3 is over."
That would have been a really fantastic cliffhanger line.
That should have been a bump.
Yes.
But
So
alas.
what was the deal with Jotaro and being like, "Do you like sumo?"
He kind of, I guess, sumo moved one of the other car off the cliff.
I guess it was such a weird thing for him to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Little bit.
really. Also, that end laughing scene where all just it's like smash cut to 70s sitcom. Everyone's laughing and Jotaro is doing this weird, creepy smile.
Yay.
There were that's another thing I want to mention too. That in this episode, I can hear somebody eating.
Beat-up, stop
Sorry.
eating your Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay.
It's so good.
The animation in this episode looked a little different, and I liked the look of it. But there was like a lot more like interesting reaction faces and stuff in this episode. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I thought
it
it
was
looked pretty cool.
It was.
I mean, I guess I didn't super notice it.
There were like they just had like weird angles and like collage shots, like the one you were just describing, where everybody's laughing.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of looked like a manga panel had been like drawn into the anime.
The opposite of a budget episode.
Yeah, I mean that's always sort of what's been good about JoJo is at times it looks almost identical to the manga, despite being, animated. And I feel like there hasn't been a ton of that up until this point. So I really appreciate that it's back.
You know what else was really noticeable in this episode?
What?
Rita Repulsa.
Oh God.
Yeah,
If
Rita
you didn't
Repulsa
know,
is mad.
And Yaba's voice actress did Rita Repulsa, but you certainly probably knew that after her tantrum at the end of the episode because that was just straight up, "Damn you, Power Rangers!"
She kind of even looks like her a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah. That might be why they cast her.
Yep.
it's really funny because you just hear her tantrum and it's like, whoa, that's a flashback.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
Damn
she's
those
gonna be
Power
nagged.
Rangers.
What was the name of her stand?
Justice.
Justice. Okay.
That's a cool
Of
name
course.
for a stand.
It's going to be a horrible stand. I mean, you can't have a name that cool and not have the stand just be utter shit.
Right. The only other one is the world.
Well, I mean, that one's cool. Kinda. Not really.
So here's, I just realized something though. If this episode stand user stand was called Wheel of Fortune, like that's not a music reference, is it?
The stands the stands right now are all based on cards of the tarot.
Tarot, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
Okay,
like
yeah.
the Star, the Hierophant, the Hermit, etc., etc., etc.
But the music, but they had music reference on the names of the characters. Like, do we know what this guy's name was?
To the JoJo Wiki.
Because I bet he's got a funny name.
Probably does.
Do 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 do.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. So Wheel of Fortune was the user was ZZ.
ZZ
As in
Top.
ZZ Top.
Yep.
That's cool.
God.
So
That's actually
yeah,
pretty fitting with the cars and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
So, another. I don't believe his name is ever said and is ever actually said by anyone. So
Yeah.
it's not like they had to
Disappointing.
change it.
Yeah.
So, anything else about this episode?
No, I don't even remember how it ends.
They all laugh, drive off. He's kind of like chained to a rock doing some monk thing, and they're like,
Then the Rita Repulsa thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "I'm gonna sick justice on them."
Yep.
And then they're like, "We should definitely put Anne on a plane out of this show," which they
That's a
will
good
do
idea.
in the next episode. Swear to God, next episode is the last time she's in the show.
Okay, good.
So, want to talk about Mobile Suit Gundam?
Yeah.
All right.
Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans, episode 29, The Trigger of Success. Oh my God, I've missed Mikazuki just icing some people. That
was
scene
great.
was so good. Like, just straight up, like,
Yep.
candy drops.
So here's what I'm noticing about this show. It is kind of changed now. This show is like Godfather.
Yep.
A little bit.
It's straight
Yes.
up mafia stuff now. Like Tekkadan has become like a mafia.
Yeah.
They are the mob.
Yeah. It's a different dynamic.
Our hero is literally a mob enforcer.
That's right. And Orga is basically like the head of the mob family in that way.
He's the head of
Yeah.
the smaller mob family under the big mob family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even some internal mob politics that'll probably go somewhere with dude in the tacky yellow coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all just I can totally see where they're taking this now. It's interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
And you're right.
I mean,
it's just great to see. I mean, Mikazuki is a great fit for this kind of story.
Yeah, it feels like they realized, oh wait, this would be better than the child soldier thing because everyone fits better.
Yep. I mean, like kind of revolutionary stuff in the first season didn't work terribly.
No, I didn't. I mean, I'm not saying that was bad. I'm just saying that I kind of think this is an interesting turn of events. It's
it'll be.
Go ahead.
It's not gonna. I feel like this stuff isn't gonna hinge as much on like knowing all the dynamics of everything like last season did. Like we're not going to be wondering what everyone's fighting over. Like there's not going to be no hair gel mind jokes this season.
It's the concept of like this group versus this group and the kind of dynamics of a mafia story works well here because of the fact that they were always dealing with these groups, so like the Dawn Horizon Corps, Tekkadan, Gallarhorn.
Yeah.
Like they're all kind of like mafia like groups in a way.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to understand the conflicts between the different groups than it was to understand what was going on last season. Like they're not going to have to sit us down and tell us all these details because we've all seen mafia shows before, so we're going to come into it knowing that, oh, okay, so they're fighting over power, territory, or stuff like that. We're not going to be left wondering what the hell's going on for the most part, I think.
Yeah, and there's this dynamic that's interesting because like in the first season, Orga and all of the kids, they're all kind of, they're trying to make a better future. They're trying to get, to a good place. And here it's like things are turning darker. Now Orga is becoming kind of sinister in a way, and Mikazuki is kind of his enforcer, and it just feels like I can see where this could go bad where they can like Orga loses himself to this or something, where he starts to become like a bad guy almost. It's interesting. I think it's a cool way to take the story. The only thing that sucked in the episode, as far as I'm concerned, was the scene with Cordelia where she's just basically all talking about herself. It's like me. It's like shut the hell up.
Oh, they shut.
Cares about you.
It's all about me.
she's still the worst. I mean, she's still the worst character. Let's be real.
Yeah.
She can just leave the show as far as I'm concerned. We don't need her.
So a few quick notes. During the space fight, I was like, I don't know who's in which machine.
Yeah,
that was a bit of a problem
too.
They're all kind of the same, just with different colors. Nah.
I mean, if they had the suits they wear or the insides of the machines match up with the color of the machines on the outside, it probably would have been easier.
Maybe. I had the same thing, especially with the guy with the Sandoval Reuter guy, with the guy with the target symbol on his head.
Yeah.
He would I would see a mech attack Mikazuki's Gundam, and I'd be like, okay, is that the girl or is that a random, pirate? Who is that? Oh, and then it would cut to the shot of that guy, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he's in the green one, I guess. It's like that's the best you go on, you don't have any other way to tell.
No, I'm pretty sure Juliet was in the green one.
So, see, there you go.
So what the hell did they cut? See, this is sort of what I'm saying is they didn't do a great job at, designing the inside of these things because we got no idea who the hell's in what. All I knew was the main bad guy was in the thing with the two swords, and that was about it.
He was in the biggest orange one.
Yeah, okay. he was in the really, really big one in the middle with the big swords and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think also part of the problem too is that the girl Juliet or whatever, like her mech doesn't even look all that interesting.
Yeah,
it's just sort of generic looking.
It's not a memorable thing. Like we're not going to connect it to her automatically.
Yeah. Although they did discover another Gundam, that was in this episode too.
They discovered two.
So maybe that'll help.
Yeah. I mean, I will.
Here's a plot of land that just so happens to have two Gundams in it.
See, that's what they were growing on the farm all along. They were growing Gundams.
They were just growing Gundams.
You found more Gundams in the ground.
Yeah, I mean that's totally a thing that happens,
Another comment I'll make too is that somebody in the thread was noticing this. I didn't notice it until they mentioned it, but the whole episode, Orga is constantly winking.
Oh God,
he's trying to be so cool,
but he's not.
And what I said was, what it is because it's always his right eye, and I think what it is that he's keeping that eye closed because he's afraid that hair that sticks out in front's going to cut him.
Because I mean, he could kill a guy with that hair.
Yeah,
he's glad they got a deed to the hair gel mines on Mars instead of Uranus.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's just easier for him to get his supply.
That's right. He needs a lot.
So at the end of the episode, Tekkadan teams up with Not Montag, and they're going to take on the Arianrod fleet, and this seems like a bad idea.
I mean, I'd feel worse for them if I, remembered who the hell any of that was.
So basically, the heroes are teaming up with, I guess, the bad guy from last season, but,
Not really.
Not really.
He was like, "Where's your mask?" And he's like, "I don't think I need my mask." It's like, you never needed your mask, dude. We knew who you were the whole time.
Seriously, why did he even wear that?
He wants more power, and to do that, he wants to take on the big main Gjallarhorn fleet led by that crazy, creepy guy who hangs out with Juliet and that other dude.
Oh, yeah, that creepy dude.
Wait, which is that the guy with the little red stripe under his eye?
Yes.
Okay.
The red teardrop tattoo under his eye.
Yeah.
Right, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably pull it off, and then Mr. Mask Guy, Mr. Char wannabe guy is gonna betray him. Yeah.
He's probably gonna put the mask back on and say, "You can never trust me when I don't wear my mask."
He just puts his mask on in the middle of a fight. What's happening? I'm Montag.
Wait, what?
And now I'm going to leave to go marry this 12-year-old.
Oh God!
See you later.
We still haven't had any scenes with that. That's definitely coming.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Anyway, shall we talk about Hunter x Hunter?
Okay.
Hunter x Hunter episode 72, Chase and Chance. In this episode, Gon tries to do a jumping handstand while Tesgera just kind of fast travels away from Genthru for a while.
Yeah, they're playing. You got Gon trying to figure out how to make his paperwork, and then Gentru is playing tag.
Oh, I don't think I put that together. That move is like his rock, paper, scissor, paper.
Yeah, that's his paper. His scissors
Okay.
is the cutting thing. His rock is the punching, and the paper is supposed to be like a
The
beam.
pushing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, something that did happen in this episode too is they finally introduced Cookie,
they did.
who
And
has
she's
been
the
showing up in the
best.
ending as just some girl who's like doing Bisky's hair. And this
So
Yep.
Killa's like,
oh, go ahead.
what's your Nen power? She's like, it's a fucking masseuse.
Yeah.
What
that's
else would it
weird.
be?
It's the best Nen power ever.
And she didn't even do anything with it. She just sort of like made her appear, and she's like, "Oh, but she can do massages." It's like, okay.
It's the best Nen power.
I mean, did you expect anything else from Bisky, really?
It does fit her like cute sort of appearance and everything. So yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it like rejuvenates her and stuff. Because Bisky's never like tired ever.
No. Yeah, I mean, she was saying, it can rejuvenate you and smooth your skin out and do like all this stuff to make you pretty.
And that's probably why she looks like, she doesn't look 60 years old. So
God.
anyway, yeah, so yeah, Cookie. So but she just sort of appears and then disappears, and then there's a
Killa
new
complains she's useless.
spider introduced
Yes.
called
Killa is
Kaluto.
Killa's
yeah,
brother?
brother or
Yeah.
sister, like
But
it's
it's
something
brother.
like
But
it's a Zoldyck.
yeah.
Yeah, the Zoldyck character. Yeah, I can see already. It's probably a guy, and they hinted at as much because Hisoka was like freaking horny as hell this episode.
Oh my god. He's
Oh, yeah.
like, those commercials where they say call your doctor if you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours?
That man needs to call a doctor.
I'm about 48 hours past that right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good, like, when he sees new strong people he's never met before. Oh, baby.
Yeah, he needs like an icy bath.
I mean, he needs a cold shower.
Needs to take a dip in a cold pool.
Oh, God.
It's Hisoka. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Anyway, was there anything else in this episode? Because otherwise, there was. So Tesgera and his crew decide, like, well, let's leave. We've done all we can, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, the whole thing's off. You're not getting anything.
Yeah. Apparently, whatever. I'm not going to spoil it, but the guy, the billionaire, is just like, yeah, no, I don't care about the game anymore. It's whatever.
Oh yeah, they cut to a shot of him, and he's just like bawling his eyes out.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on there.
I mean, it happened in the few weeks between when Killua got his hunter's license and now. So, I mean, that's only a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe
like a month or two
a month
tops.
or two.
Yeah, like tops.
It's interesting that like people who are working for him are like going into the game to do this, and that like they don't even know what's going on
Yeah.
I don't even want to say the real world, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, in like, outside of the game.
Off the island, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just sort of stuck there anyway. Like, they literally can't leave because they're garbage.
Right.
But, it's like he never sent anyone into the game to, like, tell everyone, hey, it's done. I don't care anymore. He just sort of shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm sure
like
we'll
he's
learn
keeping
more.
all. Yeah, I mean, next episode we're going to go into exactly what happened, and then everyone's going to be all sad.
But I can't think of anything else in this episode unless you guys do.
Not really.
No, this is mostly just the fast travel chase.
Yeah.
I did like
I
that
mean, this
one
is-
scene where it's like, we'll have to resort to drastic measures. Slap fight noises.
Somebody posted that Bleach gif where they keep teleporting behind each other.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically this episode for
Yeah.
Genthru and Tiscara.
So, let's move on to Lupin the Third.
Mm-hmm.
Lupin the Third, Part 4, Episode 18, The Murdering Marionette. In this episode, a serial killer blatantly announces he's going to do some serial killing on national TV and live streams it, and no one does anything about it.
Except bet on it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they bet a lot of money on it.
This is
Yeah,
a weird
so-
episode.
Yeah, this guy was named
Yeah.
Greco. And he just basically thought he was hot stuff because he could hypnotize people. But
Yeah.
I did like this episode because it even though, you know, spoiler alert, it turned out to all just be like they were long conning him. The Lupin gang, it showed them like sort of turning on each other,
Yeah.
and we got to see like some really cool like one-on-ones with like, you know, Goemon and I never can
Jigen.
remember the other guy's name. Jigen.
Yeah.
That was cool, but it was all just an act. It was all just an
Oh, yeah,
act to trick
definitely.
this guy. Yeah.
And then Lupin apparently learned hypnosis at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him to know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
and
just
then
one of those funny things.
and then everybody in the thread was talking about how Fujiko blocked a knife with her cleavage.
But it was literally just exactly that.
But
like,
in hindsight,
out.
though, she didn't really, because Lupin wouldn't really
No.
have stabbed her.
Like,
She
like
was
he
just
just,
holding it there.
yeah, he just put the knife in her cleavage.
Yes. But I wouldn't put it past Fujiko to be able to block a knife with her cleavage. She probably could really do it.
I mean, that's a fantastic. I mean, you know, she's got it going on.
But yeah, it was kind of a fun sort of character, another sort of exploring the Lupin characters in a different way. And you know, you could tell about halfway through the episode that like, no, it's all gonna be a trick. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Lupin, the show that's always mildly entertaining.
Yep. I mean, it's always worth a laugh.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't have anything for this episode except that Greco's voice does not match that face.
No.
Oh right, yeah.
It's a bit weird.
There isn't a Lupin episode without at least one character with a goofy voice. That's another staple.
Yep.
Good old Lupin. So, yeah, Lupin always comes up when we're like, yep, good old Lupin.
I hate the ending song. I hate it.
It's really not good. The fact they changed all the music is just the worst.
And apparently that's legit. That is the real ending song.
Seriously?
Yeah, somebody
thought
said
they
that was the ending song.
I thought they changed all the music.
Yeah, we
for
get all
did.
the
this
Italian
release.
stuff.
Yeah, we're getting the Italian stuff, not the original Japanese stuff, which is, you know, we don't get the right opening theme or any of that stuff.
I just think that though this was like made in Japan for the Italian broadcast or something. Somebody said that it was like, this isn't like Toonami picked a song. This is something they were supplied. And
yeah,
so
this
it's just
is
so weird.
I think it was like we got the Italian version.
Right, but it says even that though, it's just like a terrible. Like the song does
I
not
know.
fit the show at all. It's like
I know.
somebody just turned on an R&B radio, and I'm like, what?
It's why I'm not
Mhm.
doing a best ending category this year, or ending theme category this year, because,
There are no
frankly,
good ones.
there are like one great one that deserves to win, a whole bunch of forgettable ones, and a bunch of bad ones.
By great one, you mean...
Roundabout.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure.
And last year, Hunting for Your Dream was hype as fuck too.
Yeah,
I know everyone always just says, "Oh, I like the previous one better." I don't care. The current Hunter x Hunter ending is really good. I like it.
It's pretty good. But man, that last one was so fucking hype. Holy shit.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
there you go. Nobody can say it without talking about the other one.
You just can't. It's
Yeah.
just that good.
Do you want to do our Naruto Shippuden minute?
No.
Naruto Shippuden episode 179, Kakashi Hatake, the Jonin in charge. In this episode, it's more just redoing old episodes. But
Yeah,
in this
this was
episode, I
we
was in
do
the
episode
bathroom.
2.
I was in the bathroom, and they apparently made Danzo Hokage.
I mean, this episode was basically just episode 2.
Except insert shots of Kakashi peeping through holes.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, this was Kakashi watching episode 2.
It literally was. It's like, remember episode 2? Well, guess what? Kakashi was really in the background, just peeping through a hole the whole time.
And he drank the bad milk that made Naruto shit himself.
Yep.
Kakashi is so awesome that he just shit himself and didn't go and just went about his day.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. That's the episode. Like this is like the kind of filler where they have nothing, so they're just re-showing old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is
to their credit though. This has happened in other series like Star Trek. Star Trek has had episodes where they went back to a previous episode and then like did things.
Yeah.
So it's not unheard of, but that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing either.
Nobody's got nothing on this one. It's episode 2. What do you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I want Outlaw Star.
Yes.
Yeah, how about Outlaw Star, huh? I was spacing out there. Outlaw Star, episode 10, Gathering for the Space Race, also known as a race in space is dandy, baby.
Yep. It is.
I miss space dandy.
We all do. We all do.
In this episode, they join a race.
They do.
And the best character shows up again.
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying last week, when I think of Outlaw Star, it's, sort of this arc that I sort of think of first is, them flying through space and all that crap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I
who
just
cares
feel
about
like
races when Aisha is potentially going to be back?
The Katara is back.
Man, why isn't this show about her?
It's a little strange, though, and there was a lot of confusion in the thread, and I have to admit I'm still a little confused about the fact that she was working as a waitress for this guy.
Yeah, she owes him money.
Because she owes him money, right, or whatever. She just can't leave for whatever reason. And then she gets dragged away, and then 2 scenes later, she's on a Katara ship commanding other Katarals. So what happened? Did she just trick these guys into thinking she's still a commander, or what?
Or are these so low-level guys?
Maybe they didn't get the orders that she's not in charge anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be revealed later, but she just suddenly has a ship and has people under her again, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought she was booted out. But whatever. As long as she's in the show, I'm okay.
So Suzaku just kind of fucks off because why is she even in this show?
Yeah. I mean, no, but she didn't just fuck off. She fucked off to make a bet so that she could win a bunch of money.
Yeah, she really is sort of the Goemon of this show.
Yeah, I mean, she's very good at
to slice
making
things
money
periodically and then leaves.
Yeah, she shows up, slice things, make a little money, and then go away.
And then Aisha is tragically the Fujiko. Never quite there enough.
I mean, she's going to be in it going forward, I'm pretty sure.
There was also an interesting scene with sort of Melfina and Gilliam sort of bonding.
Mm-hmm.
It was all very cute, and she's Melfina's being very innocent and cute and really cheery, and it was a nice scene. But basically,
Yeah.
they're trying to search for information about her, and they can't find any. And it's just sort of like a little bonding moment between bio android and computer robot, ship robot.
Mm-hmm.
I did like how like Gene is like, all right, let's take the riskiest possible path, and he's like, and then computer's like, oh shit, metallic wave coming in, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just
How could this
they're
happen?
screwed. Mm-hmm.
That's he's
How
just
how
like,
could this happen on the riskiest possible path?
yeah, it's like, let's do the dangerous thing. Oh my God, something dangerous is happening.
I live for danger. Oh no, danger!
Save me.
Something I've noticed is that Gene's voice actor is really good.
Yeah.
And that surprises me because this show's old and this is
Mhm.
like an older dub.
Yeah.
And so you kind of just,
You
from
expect it to
experience.
be bad.
Yeah, exactly. You would expect this to be kind of cheesy or poorly done. But there are moments in this episode especially where Gene kind of like he will like say something flippant or he'll just sort of like say something and it'll just be in a way that like it sounds so natural. It sounds like a real like
Yeah.
an actor would say it, not like a voice like a bad voice actor, but like a real
Right.
actor would just be like, "What are you talking about?" And he'd say something like in an inflection that was just like, "Oh, that's a really good way of saying that." I just wanted to give him props because he's impressing me with his voice acting in this show.
Yeah.
Whoever
I
that
mean,
is.
this is one of those older dubs that's actually fairly solid for the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Yu Yu Hakusho level or anything like that, but it's still pretty
Well,
damn good.
and to be fair, this was made at the same time as Cowboy Bebop, which also has an excellent dub. So
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where at the time there were a couple of really great dubs coming out and a bunch of really crappy ones. It's just that Toonami tended to pick up all the really good ones.
another thing about this show too is that I keep thinking it's older than it is. It's like 98 when
Yeah,
it
it
feels like
looks
a
like it's
91
early.
or a 92, you know.
Yeah, it feels like late 80s, early 90s type show.
Yeah,
Just from like the art style and animation and all that.
definitely feels like an early 90s animation style.
Yeah.
And it's actually a 98, so I guess maybe that's part of the reason I keep thinking the dub will be worse than it is. Because
It's
back in the 90s, oh boy,
it's a
early
real
90s.
it's a real good
Oh
90s
yeah.
dub.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, let's talk a little bit, just a few points on the last two shows. This is a great episode of Bebop.
I mean, what isn't a
Yeah.
good episode of Bebop?
In fact, it's so good that they just kind of copied it for a bunch of other shows, line for line.
They really did.
I'll be the outlier and say I like this episode, but I don't love it like everyone else does.
I mean, I like it, but I do feel like there's better episodes in the series.
Yeah.
I mean, the character, whatever his name was, the funny one, like
Rocco.
Roscoe. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah, he's a fun character. I liked him, and I liked his blind sister. I liked her as a character.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good episode. It just doesn't really resonate with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story that's been done a couple of times already. And, I mean, it's good, it's just not like,
I still think
there's way better episodes.
yeah, we're like 2 or 3 episodes away from like my favorite episode. I think the next one's the introduction of Edward.
Oh, that one's a good one.
I can't remember much about it, but I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I'm thinking of course, to me is the Speak Like a Child. Like that's
Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of people really love that one.
that's
We should have
probably
Seda
my
on for
favorite.
that one because, man, Seda just loves that episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So good. Like, I mean, it's not common in anime for a show to make me cry, and that one, I'm not gonna front. Totally teared up and cried at the end of that episode.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There was also an episode of Ghost in the Shell, which was really uncomfortable, man.
It really was.
It's like, oh my god, this guy is so pathetic.
Yeah,
Every
it
time it was like, oh, is he finally doing it? Nope.
Nope. He's too much of a pussy.
He's actually dude, you're like just like, man, I'm the only person who is worthy in this world except this one girl. She's so beautiful, and it's like, dude, she's spying on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the major. You don't got a chance with her.
Your life sucks.
And she's like, and the way the episodes end is basically the Major's like, nah, poor soul, he's screwed. I'm like, damn, man.
Wait, literally,
Yes.
he won't even do it, so whatever.
Yeah, like she can't be bothered with him anymore. It's like, okay, he's not going to do anything. He's kind of a wuss. He's impotent. Who cares?
I was gonna say there was a scene where he was going to hook up with a prostitute, and she's like, "What are we gonna do about this?" And then it shows like he has prosthetic lower body.
Oof. Yeah.
Yikes!
And he didn't even get a prosthetic, you know.
It didn't look like it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know,
He,
but whatever.
he was too cheap for that part.
Well, no, remember the whole story was about the fact that they were like soldiers
Yeah.
who they didn't have they opted into this program, and then
Mm-hmm.
the only thing
Yeah,
I
but
liked in this episode was this whole like it was creepy, but like the part where he was talking about like why are they eating? Why are they eating? They don't have to eat. And it's this idea that like these people who have been cyberized
Yeah.
have like instinctually want to eat, even though
Mhm.
their body technically doesn't need it. It's a
Right.
kind of weird thing to think about.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny how this guy didn't actually lose his legs in the war. He lost them from like syphilis or something.
Yeah.
Like they didn't get blown up or anything like everyone else's. It's just like, nah, he had sex with a prostitute and, you know, he didn't wear a condom.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, that is pathetic, man.
It was, yeah. I didn't really watch this episode. I had it in the background, and every time I
Yeah.
looked over, it's like this is depressing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really sad dude.
Yeah. Anyway, on that depressing note, that'll probably do it for this episode of the Toonami Escape Podcast. Thank you, B-dubs.
Okay.
Go party.
What party?
The party that's going on right now.
Oh, right. I got to get back on there.
Yep. Thank you, C. Kohler.
No problem.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 80, the Big 80. Good night, everyone.
Mhm. Night.